All right, everyone, we're almost 72 hours into the Trump presidency. He has pretty much crushed the Uniparty under his foot already, which is something that was, it's actually beyond my expectations. I got a super chat the other day. Well, how has Trump's first 48 hours gone? I'm like, yeah, it's beyond my expectations. I expected Trump to pivot immediately towards funding the border wall, tackling crime, diplomatic issues, things like that. He has done far more over the course of the first 3 days of his presidency. We're on day 3 now, so it's not even over, than I expected. This was something that I didn't predict, actually. I figured it would be good. I knew that he would get right to work. He would be, getting to these issues. But he branched out way beyond that. Okay, Ross Ulbricht has been pardoned. That's something that's good. Silk Road founder. He's now out of jail. The J6ers got blanket pardon. That's good. We're tackling the border wall. We're tackling crime. He's already in talks with several other nations. Looking at, tax relief for the American citizenry. Trying to lean in on the Republicans to stand the line on that one. By the way, they'd be crazy not to do so. Among other things, he even attacks affirmative action and has effectively eliminated that. Now, that'll take litigation, so that's not going to be an immediate thing. Just keep that in mind. But I think that he'll be successful in the end. That was a Lyndon Baines Johnson executive order. That's from the 1970s. The fact is that a president has the ability generally to countermand existing executive orders. In fact, I know of only one instance in which it was not allowed by the Supreme Court. Ironically, that involved Donald Trump, and that was with the DREAM Act. And that was out of a sense of pragmatism. Oh, shit, he's going to deport 4 million people. We'll find a workaround. We'll find some circumstantial reason why he's not allowed to do what every other president is literally allowed to do. Very sad how the injustice system is working these days. Of course, the Supreme Court, its composition has changed slightly, so we'll see what happens. He's signed executive orders for deportation, for a Remain in Mexico policy to be reinstated. He's ripped apart Biden's legacy. Nobody even remembers who Joe Biden is at this point. 3 days into Donald Trump's presidency, who's talking about Joe Biden? Nobody. Who's talking about Kamala? Well, I mean, he didn't even need to take the presidency before people weren't talking about her because she's so absolutely meaningless. Donald Trump, in literally less than 3 days, has been more transformative than the entire prior administration. And arguably more transformative than his own prior administration. Even after the 2016 election, Donald Trump did a lot of things that were meaningful. He tried to go after the ADA. It didn't really work out, and he had a bunch of standard bearers that were trying to do that and never really panned out. I think he should ignore it, by the way. The healthcare overhaul is probably there to stay. Getting us withdrawn from Afghanistan and so forth, signing that deal off. It was ruined by Joe Biden, but, Trump did his best. He did a lot of transformative things during his first 4 years of office. Tax relief, being the first Republican in a long time not to start a war comes to mind. I think that the second term will be more transformative than his first term. I think that it'll be better, which is abnormal for a president. Normally, their first term, they have a heavy agenda, and they're a workhorse. They get a bunch of things done. And in the second term, because they can't run again, they really don't do as much. Or if they do things, sometimes they get sloppy. They get messy because they're like, well, it doesn't really matter what my approval is as long as I don't break the law in a blatant, flagrant manner. I'm not going to get impeached or anything. Trump has already been impeached twice. They've tried to remove him from office. They tried to legally persecute him, and he can't run again. He's got no more fucks to give. And so I think that Donald Trump in his second term is actually going to be more effective than in his first. His first term, for example, I gave a 6 out of 10. And this shines in comparison to all recent modern presidents. I gave him the same score I would give first term Ronald Reagan. Second term, I'd give him a 3 or something like that. Herbert Walker gets a 1. George W. gets a 1. Obama gets a 2, because he did step out of the way of the energy boom, so that's good. Biden gets a goddamn 0. Clinton, I guess, gets a 3. You know, he didn't do terribly bad, but, you know, it wasn't really his decision-making that was making things good. It's more like an era of happy feelings in the 90s. With Donald Trump, I gave his first term a 6. I have a feeling I'm going to be giving him more points in his second term. Based on what I'm seeing now with the hiring decisions, with the decision-making that he's made just in the first few days, I have a feeling that his second term will be more meaningful than his first. And I'm hoping for that. I mean, even if Kamala had won, I would hope she would do a good job. I wouldn't expect it, but I would hope for it. With Trump, my expectations have been raised, though. This means that over the coming years, I might be more critical of Donald Trump. Because if he does fall short, there will be much more to criticize because my expectations are higher. I was expecting him to be a good president. That's why I voted for him in 2016. But I didn't expect him to be as good as he was, actually. I definitely talked a lot about it. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, compared to the alternative, surely he's better. Hillary Clinton, yeah, that's going to go over real well. We came, we saw, he died. Ha 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 ha. Hot sauce in the handbag. Okay, that would be totally glorious. In his second term, my expectations, though, are higher, actually. And I don't think that he's going to let me down, honestly. He's not going to be perfect. He's going to make decisions that I disagree with. He's going to make decisions that you disagree with. He already has, actually. For instance, on birthright citizenship, I've got mixed feelings about that. I've got a daughter that lives in the Netherlands, for example. And you know, that's a thing. I don't agree with every decision he's already made, but by and large, he is knocking it out of the goddamn park. By and large, he is already doing a spectacular job. Right now, I'd give him an 8 out of 10. He might end up being better than like Eisenhower or JFK, or maybe even on par with somebody like fucking Teddy Roosevelt. If he can put the genie back in the bottle with some of the diplomatic issues we've got, cool off the inflation, and pursue his tax relief, that alone would cement his legacy as at least a very good president, if not a great one. That's about all. Peace out.